All right, well, the ongoing battle for and against GMOs can be a tough topic to navigate, right?
Yes, it certainly can be. So brand new here at 11 o'clock and joining us is a fourth generation farmer is Dennis Bulani. So we want to talk about science and we want to talk about our food. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about it, GMOs. From a farmer's perspective, what's your take on GMOs?
Well, farmers are responsible to feed the world safely and sustainably, and GMOs have been an advancement in technology that have allowed to do that actually safer because we use less pesticides when we use GMO crops. And interestingly enough, we learned about GMOs from Mother Nature. If GMOs were banned tomorrow, Mother Nature would continue to create GMO crops.
Sure.
Do you like sweet potatoes?
Of course we do.
We do.
Okay, the sweet potato was invented GMO by Mother Nature. She transferred inadvertently a gene from one plant into the potato, and now we have the sweet potato.
But see, when it's Mother Nature, I think everybody's like, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
When it's me out there messing around with the food, that's where we have questions.
And it's a good question because we're actually inserting one gene the way Mother Nature did. That's how we learned about it. And so we're looking for one trait. And then once we develop that new trait, 16 years of testing and probably $120 million to prove that we haven't modified anything else, that if we feed it to humans or lab animals and so on, that we can prove and be very confident that it's safe. There's been over 100 million people eating GMO crops now in North America for 20, 30 years, so the cat's out of the bag. Europe does not have it, and interestingly enough, the statistics of health between Europe and USA and North America aren't a lot different.
So grocery prices, I mean, when we're going grocery shopping, we look at prices are obviously higher right now, and we look at organic versus not organic, and you want to lean toward organic, but is it worth the price to purchase organic?
Well, most farmers probably are, unless you're an organic farmer, are probably quite content to buy commercial food. Both organic food production and commercial food production are equally safe. We just go about, we're both organic farmers and commercial farmers are trying to accomplish the same thing. We just go about it in different ways. We use synthetic products to produce our food. Organic growers they still use pesticides, but they have to be called natural pesticides. So that's an important point to understand.
So what do you see in the future with food production here in the United States? What's the next evolution? If it's not, genetically altering it on a micro level, what is the next step?
Well, the challenge, of course, is to feed the world, and I guess the question is how big will the population of the world get? Our challenge is to feed the ones that are there now. I can tell you that with all the advancements we've used in modern agriculture, fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, and so on, if they were removed from the market today, about 3.5 billion people would starve like tomorrow. So the technology we're using today, GMOs and pesticides, is what's feeding the world today. What's next? We're in a real revolution in agriculture. The next big advancement is understanding soil. Now that we can measure DNA, we're soil testing and measuring our soil health, and we're learning a lot of things about the microcosm of our soil. And I believe that's the next big generation in ag production.
All right. Well, you have, Dennis Bulani, you have a book coming out, or is this out? Can you tell us about this book?
So the book is What a Farmer Wants You to Know About Food. It's on Amazon.com. And if you read the book, you will feel good about going to the grocery store. You will feel great about it.
You're not down. What about fake meat? Are you in with fake meat?
Well,
there has to be something.
I grow peas on my farm, and the pea protein I grow ends up in fake meat.
Okay.
I am not a big fan of fake meat. Obviously I like to eat.
You like the real thing.
And by the way, I do like to balance my diet. You're talking about this tallow thing. I like to save the tallow for when I eat my beef fat in my steak.
Yeah.
And I love to balance it with seed oil, canola oil, or soy oil in my French fries. And by the way, I don't understand how the seed oil is such a big deal. I just use a little bit to keep my eggs from sticking.
Right.
And it's not a big.
Well, you can find out more about the seed oil in your book, What a Farmer Wants You to Know About Food. It's out now, and people can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, and if you're really interested and want to keep the conversation going, trustyourplate.com has all references to the book. And I'm excited to have more conversations with anybody or any consumer.
I mean, it's all valuable information. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Well, let's talk about this weather too. I mean, this changing forecast. I mean, right now we're enjoying this great morning, but it's not going to last, is it, Travis?
No, hard no. That's not going to last at all.
Hard no.